Hi, I'm Gregor Halba, and this is The Joy of the Faith. In this video, I'm asking you the question, do you want to leave a legacy? And the reason I'm asking this is because we recently celebrated Memorial Day, and for Memorial Day, Anne-Marie and I watched Lone Survivor, a very intense true story on the sacrifices that our military made for us. And I got to thinking, how can I leave a legacy? Not all of us are in the military, and even those that are might not have had the same experience, but we can still make an impact. We can still leave a legacy. So what I did is I researched those that had the greatest impact on history. And obviously not all of us are going to join those ranks, but we can all have an impact, all leave a legacy in our own spheres of influence. So MIT put a list together, and the top 4 people that impacted history were Aristotle, Plato, Jesus, and Socrates. I talk about Jesus in most of my videos, so I'm going to focus on the other 3 and see how what they said allowed them to have the impact on history that they did, to have that legacy. First we look at Aristotle, who said, "Yet nevertheless, even in adversity, nobility shines through, when a man endures repeated and severe misfortune with patience, not owing to insensibility, but from generosity and greatness of soul." Here we see Aristotle talking about perseverance, having patience with misfortunes, right? Not doing it because you can't feel it, right? But doing it because you have a great and strong soul. That even in that adversity, you can persevere. That's what really makes a difference. And it's so neat to see that this man with such a strong legacy said such wise words. Aristotle also said, "The self-indulgent man craves for all pleasant things, and is led by his appetite to choose these at the cost of everything else." Aristotle's talking about those that sacrifice everything to please their desires, almost like a drug addict that will sell whatever just to get what they think they need. They don't have that ability to see things the way they are. They're addicted. They don't have prudence or moderation, right? Temperance. They don't have that ability to say, yes, I really want this, but I don't have the money for it. How true that is for many in our society. Right? And we go back to the drug addict, right? What kind of legacy would they lead? A really sad one. Unfortunately, they may be forgotten, after a few generations. But the man or woman that sacrifices and loves their family, loves their friends, loves their community, will be remembered for years and years to come. And in addition, the man or woman that has that fortitude, that ability to persevere in those tough times, will also be remembered. Think about all the movies that are made. Unbroken, even beyond his death, we're still making movies on his life. How cool is that? What a legacy that is. Next we move on to Plato, who says, "Wherefore my counsel is that we hold fast ever to the heavenly way, and follow after justice and virtue always." Here Plato brings up justice, and everyone desires justice, but what is justice? It's giving someone what they're due, right? Giving someone the respect that they deserve, giving someone the punishment that they deserve. So how often in our own lives are there moments that we can be just or not? Right, when we've got a sibling or a friend that we always want to be partial to, and we never want to say that they did anything wrong. But we don't look at the situation correctly. Right? We leave that legacy by being the fair sibling or the fair parent and analyzing the situation properly. Plato also talks about virtue, which Aristotle was alluding to, that temperance, that ability to moderate our desires. The prudence, the ability to see things the way that they are, which leads to justice, right? Seeing things the way they are allows you to make just decisions. So we see the wisdom that Plato had and why he had such a legacy by speaking such true words. Finally, we move on to Socrates, who said, "Men of Athens, I honor and love you, but I shall obey God rather than you. And while I have life and strength, I shall never cease from the practice and teaching of philosophy. Understand that I shall never alter my ways, not even if I have to die many times." You may not know this, but Socrates was actually killed because he did not believe in the Greek gods. He said, "I shall obey God, singular, rather than you." This fortitude, this ability to pursue truth wherever it leads, is another virtue that we need, and one that we see throughout history, right? We see those that are imprisoned in prisoner of war camps, and what do? They have that fortitude. They have that ability to not be a coward, and it's the same for us, to not betray those in our family and those in our community. No wonder that he was so remembered, that he was willing to die for what he believed in. So much so that he said, "I would rather die many times." What courage that he had. This is why he left a legacy. So I hope that you can see that from these 3 men, these 3 great minds that pondered on life, they were able to live and impact so many throughout history because they focused so much on virtue. And virtue is really what will allow us to leave a legacy. Going back to Lone Survivor, those men that died did it out of that great courage, out of that fortitude. They did not flee. They stood against the enemy and would rather die than abandon our country. The same goes for all of us. We need to have those virtues that we hold fast to and we don't abandon, because those will allow us to touch lives. Those will allow those around us to say, wow, that person's different. They'll allow our family members that may have been tainted by Christianity or anything, or our family, to say, wow, they're different. And maybe they don't know what virtue is, but they see the example of our life and how we really take it seriously. Focus on these virtues. On prudence, the ability to see things the way they are, which removes pride. Justice, giving those what they're due, giving each person respect. Temperance, the ability to moderate your passions, to not always want things now. And finally, fortitude, the ability to stay strong and follow truth, even in the midst of persecution. And if you do these 4 things, if you live these 4 virtues, I guarantee you'll leave a legacy. So I hope you have an awesome day, and God love you.